Um, Today is the second day of the January 6th Klan riot hearing, and the second public January 6th hearing commences Monday, and we're gonna expect more of the searing indictment from the former squatter Donald Trump and his efforts to overturn the results of a free and fair presidential election that we saw during the first hearing Thursday. Now, if Trump allies truly believed the election was stolen, why the fuck do they need pardons? The American people were shown evidence of Trump's lies to the American public, his illegitimate efforts to use the Justice Department to further his false claims, and his fomenting of the mob that attacked the U.S. Capitol. Perhaps what was most unsettling was his embrace of the demonstrators' chant to hang Mike Pence, and Trump reportedly told his sycophants, told his aides that maybe my sycophants have the right idea, that Pence deserves it. No, what you're agreeing with is a crime that to be committed. But what was perhaps the most striking about the hearing on Thursday night was the complicity of Trump's allies, both inside the White House and on Capitol Hill. They, they cynically enabled his assault on American democracy, even though it now seems apparent that they didn't believe a word of it. Um, Indeed, one of the more startling revelations from Thursday night came from Representative Liz Cheney, um, who's a representative from Wyoming. She's a Republican from Wyoming, basically, and who said that multiple members of Congress, including Representative Scott Perry, a Republican from Pennsylvania, had sought pardons for their efforts to overturn the election results. Like I said, if Trump allies truly believed the election had been stolen, why the fuck did they need pardons? They were simply pushing good faith arguments about election fraud. Right? The fact that they sought Trump's assistance in potentially avoiding prosecution is compelling evidence that they knew the claims they were making then and are still making them now were not true at all. In a statement on the day of the hearing, House Minority House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy refused to say that Trump was responsible for the events of January 6th, instead stating that everybody is responsible. While Democrats didn't participate in that Klan riot, but the Republicans did, so the Republicans are responsible. But McCarthy is on tape telling colleagues that Trump bears responsibility for his words and actions, and no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The top-ranking House Republican also has called Trump's actions unacceptable, and that nobody can defend that, and nobody should defend it. Now, I would imagine later on that the latter attitude is shared by many of his staffers who were shown on tape Thursday night fleeing their offices in terror on January 6th as the Trump-inspired mob entered the building. Now, McCarthy continues to still defend the squatter, and in the process criminally and cynically lied, and he still lies to the Republican voters. If one did a private survey of House Republicans, I would expect that the vast majority would acknowledge Trump's primary culpability for the violence that took place that day, and most would likely acknowledge that his claims of a stolen election are, and as I quote what former Attorney General Bill Barr said, that it was nothing more than bullshit. The overwhelming majority of congressional Republicans and those seeking to become congressional Republicans have chosen to peddle the former squatters' lies to their sycophants, and they'd rather be members of Congress than patriots. Now, the truth is, and it seems, there is no impediment to their ambitions. The few Republicans who are willing to publicly recognize the central role Trump played in the Klan insurrection have been ostracized from the party, or they are choosing not to seek their re-election terms. The second Republican on the January 6th committee, which is Representative Adam Kinzinger, has taken the latter course. Cheney is fighting to keep her job against a pro-Trump Republican primary opponent, which looks to be like an increasingly long shot. Now, the overwhelming majority of congressional Republicans and those seeking to become congressional Republicans have chosen to peddle the former squatters' lies to their sycophants, and like I said, they'd rather be members of Congress than patriots, but they have plenty of company among Trump's inner circle. Now, on Thursday, we had heard over and over from those close to Trump that they knew, in early November that he lost the 2020 election. Alex Cannon, who was a campaign lawyer, says he gave the same information to the then White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, who replied text that there's no there. A key Trump aide, Jason Miller, recounted Trump being told in the Oval Office by campaign data expert that he was going to lose and that he lost. The squatter's daughter and the former White House and the squatter's daughter, wife, and former White House aide Ivanka told the committee that she believed Barr when he said that Trump lost, but that didn't stop them from parroting Trump's lies and enabling his election mania. And Bill Barr spent many months before the campaign raising false claims about potential voter fraud and allowing the partisan Justice Department investigations to take place in the run-up to Election Day. Ivanka Trump has largely tried to wash her hands of the January 6th Klan attack, but she was there on the White House ellipse with her father when he urged the sycophants who gathered to march down to the Capitol and demand that Congress do the right thing, even though they would be doing the wrong thing. Meadows continued to push the big lie about 2020, even bringing election deniers like Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani, and Mike the Pillow crackhead into the White House to tell Trump to tell Trump the lies he was so desperate to hear. Now Cheney summed it up best, and she described the immoral choice that basically her entire party of fellow Republicans had made. She summed it up best this way: there will be a day when the squatter Trump is gone, but your dishonor will remain. And with the January 6th committee resuming hearings Monday, we should expect to see more clearly how deep that dishonor runs. So if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, RBW King. You can also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out. And if you want to support my work even further, you can donate to my Patreon link, which you can find in the About section of YouTube. And for just as little as a few bucks a month, your donation can help go a long way, and thanks for listening.